Alright, this is Andrew with Go to Home Inspection. Doing a sewer scope today here in Salt Lake. We're at 2434 Beacon. We have the camera pushed out 122 feet. We're not yet to the city connection. I'm hitting an offset in the line that I'm not able to get my camera over. Even running water and flushing a toilet, I wasn't able to pop over that lip. But we're going to pull it back and see everything we can. So what you're seeing on the screen right now, that's clay. Well, it looks like we might have transitioned to a little piece of transite, but I'm starting to go underwater. Transite is cement asbestos, which is more of a white or cement color. Looks like you have a little bit of a flat spot here where it's holding some waste and some water. So a little bit of a belly. The only way to fix bad grade is to dig it up and re-slope it. You can't put a liner through a line when you have a belly like that. And then you have a pretty good sized offset here. I had a hard time getting over that offset. I eventually was able to run enough water and flush toilets to pop over it. So I was able to see beyond it, as you saw, but waste can get stuck right here, and that can create a blockage where it backs up towards the house. So it's definitely not ideal. More clay. There's a pretty good sized root, and that's not even the biggest one on this line. I would definitely recommend getting this line hydro-jetted, and that'll blast out all those roots. Otherwise waste can build up and create a blockage where it backs up towards the house. Good sized root there. I think that's the biggest one I saw. That's covering a good 80 or 90% of the line. Looks like the bottom's still clear, so it hasn't backed up on them yet, but once that grows a little bit more, that's going to completely enclose the line. A lot of times the house will sit vacant. You'll have a root like that, close up the pipe, and then when the new owners move in, it can immediately back up. Now we're transitioning to cast iron. Cast iron gets real rough and rusty. Eventually it will need to be replaced. You know, we can see how rough it is on the screen, but a lot of times it looks even worse from the outside of the pipe. I would recommend having this line cleaned. They can put coat it, which will clean up some of that rust and make it a little smoother so that it's less likely for buildup to get stuck in the line or waste to get stuck in the line. For this area, you have a lot of standing waste and buildup. Almost, I think it is still cast iron. I'm pulling a lot of this off my camera reel as I pull it back, and it's as black as can be, which is usually from cast iron. I would recommend having all this cleaned as well, not only so that the line might perform better in the future, but there's a lot that we're not seeing with all this buildup. You'd be able to see a lot more once this line was cleaned. Not a good sign when you have, you know, a line on the middle of the pipe or even higher. I noticed as I pushed my camera out, I was pushing through a lot of waste, and I think that my camera probably cleared a lot of it out. I would be curious once this line was cleaned if it has proper grade or not. Now we're going through enough debris that it covered my camera head. I don't think we're underwater necessarily. I think it's just splashed up and covered the head. But in either case, there was so much buildup on the pipe that we weren't seeing much in that area anyway. So to recap, you have a couple offsets. Those are spots where waste can get stuck, and the only way to fix that is to dig it up and do a spot repair. You have one area that had poor slope. You have a lot of roots that you definitely want to have cleaned out now. We weren't able to see the entire line, so there's a part of the line that we're not seeing out towards the street. And then lastly, under the house, you have a lot of cast iron that's looking pretty rough. That'll eventually need to be replaced, but I would have it cleaned out now to get a better idea of how much time you might have before it needs to be done. I'm going to end this recording now. Oh, last thing I'm going to add, I would definitely recommend getting the insurance on the line. That'll help offset the cost when it is time to replace it. I'm going to end this recording.